terug, jy's ingeskakel op jou goedvoel ontbytprogram Expresso, net hier op SABC3. En dit was net 'n paar weke gelede wat ons vir jou vertel het die storie van die Madswimmer organisasie wat 'n nuwe wêreldrekord wil doen. Well, they went to the Middle East where they attempted to break the world record for the world's lowest swim, and they succeeded. Now, their challenge was a 16-kilometer swim from Jordan to Israel across the Dead Sea, which stands at 423 meters below sea level. Now, we have the Madswimmers representatives, Evan and Hylton, in studio to tell us more about how it went. But firstly, congratulations. Swimming 16 kilometers across the Dead Sea took you 7 hours. How did you feel emotionally, physically afterwards?
So I'll tell you, physically, it was a tough swim. 17.5 kilometers actually it turned out to be, because I guess you don't go in a straight line across these oceans. It was tough. It was tough, and obviously as the day wore on, we were in the desert, and it warmed up quite a bit. So to be in these masks, swimming that kind of distance in an unnatural position was very difficult, and it became very warm in the mask and quite claustrophobic. Apart from that, the eyes, they were a big problem. You know, water in the eyes, if it's left for too long, the cornea actually gets destroyed. This type of water destroys it.
Sure.
So we had to hydrate because it was very dehydrating. The salt water sucks all the water out of your body via reverse osmosis. And we had to hydrate. So every time we took the mask off, we had these droplets falling into our eyes. It was extremely painful, and we had to deal with it very quickly.
Okay.
So from the physical side, it was tough. For myself personally, at 10 kilometers, I went into severe leg cramp. I just wasn't hydrating enough. I thought I was, but I wasn't. I found a boat to come to me quickly. I quickly downed 3 Gatorades, and within 4 minutes, I was ready to go again.
Ready to go again, yeah. And Hylton, how did you feel like emotionally afterwards?
Well, during the swim, I think you're pushing yourself and pushing yourself emotionally. You've got in the back of your mind what you're doing this for, the cause, the children in South Africa, and then just supporting each other, pulling each other across this body of water. And arriving at the shore with these onlookers and people cheering and support teams and cameras, and it was just quite an emotional experience. Also, doing it for something bigger and for the plight of the Dead Sea and its demise, and knowing that hopefully you're making a difference. It's got to our hearts.
Definitely created awareness around it as well. Absolutely. Now, you're holding the mask that you use to swim because of the
basically,
I can imagine you're spending a lot of time with it, practicing and also doing the swim. Were there any things you guys did not anticipate? Because I mean, you planned the swim for weeks and months building up to it.
It was actually pretty much a year in the making, and we had thankfully covered most of the aspects. There were always going to be a couple of items that you deal with along the way. None of them were too severe, but what was quite interesting is, well, we had a practice day. None of us had actually swum, well, very few of us had swum the Dead Sea prior to the event. So we knew how the mask worked. We were training with buoyancy, but this was the actual thing. And during the practice day, there was a vacationer who had lost his balance in the water, and it flipped over onto his belly, and he was really trying to get back up, and he was in the process of drowning.
Okay.
He would have lost his energy, his head would have hit the water, he would have sucked up a gulp of this toxic solution, and he would have died. Luckily, we were there with our masks, and we went over to give him a hand, but it was a big reality check for the environment that we were in.
Sure.
Other than that, pretty much everything went according to plan. Our practice went very well. We adjusted a couple of the items of how the boats are going to be positioned. And we also added another function, which was a leash, just a short rope attached to the ankle with dragging a 1-liter fresh water bottle behind us in case there was a quick emergency and the boat couldn't get to us in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was clever thinking. Well, listen, congratulations once again. We have some of the Madswimmers representatives with us in studio, completing a 16-kilometer swim from Israel to Jordan, on the Dead Sea. Absolutely incredible. Well, you can stay up to date with them at the Madswimmers organization on Facebook, on the Facebook page. But of course, we still have lots coming up for you on your Feel Good Breakfast show.